latest PHP and JavaScript Innovation Award winners and nominees. This month, let me share the screen here. If I don't get confused with the screens, this one is, oh man, using Windows is so, I know, that's me,
Yep.
I'm slow. Okay, so here we have like, oh wait, wait, there is some playback here. We are talking about the winners of February, and this month, I mean for jazz classes, this month we have like 4 nominees, and well, which ones would you like to comment, Arthur?
Okay, let me share the screen. That Windows, so difficult.
Windows
I'm
is difficult.
I'm kidding, of course.
Okay.
So the first class I want to comment is jQuery Custom Select, developed by Martin Barker from United Kingdom. And basically, there are select inputs already default in HTML, but problem is that you can't really customize them much. And this is a jQuery plugin that would recreate your existing select input with HTML elements and allow you also to customize it. I would style it and how it would look like. I would wish there would be a screenshot or example, but there's only code. Yeah, basically you already have an element defined, so you just run jQuery selector on it and run the plugin. It would recreate it in another form that you can customize it more.
Yes, that's true, because I think it's quite limiting. Although I never needed to configure it much more than what the default provides, but it's a bit restrictive. So this plugin should help developers to further make it more configurable.
And Martin got one ebook of choice by Pact for this package. And the next is Class.js, which allows you to create classes with JavaScript and also Node.js, jQuery, and vanilla JavaScript in browser. Developed by Emil Kilage from Sweden. So yes, with ECMAScript we already have classes or class-like system, but we don't have it in the browser, so this is where it comes useful. And I think there was also an example. Yeah, so you have a class, and then you can have class, and then you can create instances of your class, and I think you could also create an inheritance to inheritance, extend classes. Yes, your class extend, and simple utility package adding OOP. Much more understandable OOP to JavaScript than it has, not a prototype based, but more a class based.
Right. Well, now we can call it classes. Anyway, well,
True.
this is an object to create classes, but now with the ECMAScript 6, people that want to do real classes will do it, but it's still very interesting, very useful, makes it more manageable. I prefer to deal with classes. Not, I don't know about you, but for many years dealing with classes is much straightforward than using prototypes.
True.
Okay, so on my behalf, I also would like to talk about a couple of packages. Let's take a look if I can share the screen and find the screen that I'm sharing. Okay. The first one is Cancelable Chain Promises. And this one is from Jeremy Judo from China. Well, doesn't look like a Chinese name, but more like French name. But
Yeah.
it's a French person living in China. Anyway, this is for, let's see if I have some, for handling asynchronous events uh, with promises that can be cancelled. Like if something does not happen, it will not do the following callbacks for the promises that are chained. Here it has a demo, and let's see something to.
Does it only cancel, or it does even do some kind of a rollback?
I mean, cancel. I think it is in the sense of not calling the then or nor the else.
Okay.
I I I don't know what could be the rollback. I think you were asking for magic. Anyway, I don't know if you can see much here in the demos, but you could see it if you want to take a look further on this. So moving on to the next package, which is from Understuff from Hungary. This is basically a Windows manager inside the browser, so it can manage Windows. I did not. Oh, it's a shame there is no demo here, but probably. Well, probably there is some demo somewhere. I did not find it for now, but it's basically a Windows manager. You can drag Windows and do the usual as it's with Windows as if you had like Windows on inside a browser window. So for this, Understuff picked one license of IP to country database. Uh, and for now, that's all in terms of nominees in February. So as for the rankings, as you know, JS classes has not so as many people participating, but it's still a few. In terms of individual authors, first, Emil Kilage from Sweden is ahead with 3 packages and 11 points. Then we have Martin Barker from the United Kingdom with 2 packages and 9 points. Martin Latter with 1 package and 5 points. And then Arthur Sassinen from Latvia with 1 package and 3 points is tied with Jeremy Judo and Understuff. As I mentioned, from Hungary with 1 package and 3 points. Theo Wiwowski from Germany with 1 package and 2 points. Is tied with Tom Loprod from Spain with 1 package and 2 points. Dom Hastings with 1 package and 1 point. Finally, is in the 9th position with 1 package and 1 point. By country, United Kingdom is ahead because they have more people participating. Basically, they have like for package 15 points. Then Sweden is next with 3 packages and 11 points. Latvia, China, and Hungary are tied in 3rd place with 1 package and 3 points. And finally, Germany and Spain are tied with in 6th place with 1 package and 2 points. Now, moving on to the PHP Innovation Award winners, nominees of February. We had a lot, like 18 nominees, which is good, but which also gives us a lot of work to comment on this. So let's get started so we can end before Artus goes to sleep.
Yes.
Okay, so Artus, go ahead.
Okay. So the first one is PHP Termux API. I think we already commented about it in the last month's articles.
Yeah,
But
on this.
yeah, but basically it's developed by Luis Martinez Ulloa from Peru, and it allows to access um, some Android device data through PHP. So basically, there is this Termux application that runs on Android, which provides like an SSH access to the Android device, in which you can run PHP, in which and then you can run this class to get the information about device on this PHP. So it can check the battery status, get the camera details, take the pictures, and all these tasks that you can read here. And yeah, Luis, I think, is the first one to pick one big PHP and Plush mascot for this package.
Yeah. Yes,
Uh,
he was the one that I was fortunate to pick. The elephant, as you may imagine, it's the most desired prize. So sometimes some authors get upset because they missed to get the first prize as the elephant. But sorry, there are not many elephants, only one per month, and I hope the authors that get them are enjoying. Usually they are because I always ask them to send pictures, and they always show nice pictures of them smiling. Just because it says PHP, like here, not not because of the elephant. Nobody cares about blue elephants. Um,
exactly.
okay, so carry on.
Yeah, so there are also the screenshots about how it's used on the real Android, so you could see it. Yeah, okay. And the next package is, let's comment about this one. It's a PHP batch XML attribute writer developed by Martin van Urk from the Netherlands.
Yeah,
And so it's a XML writer, but if you're writing large files, then it could actually automatically split up it and write it into several documents, multiple files,
yeah,
given a limit of tag attributes. And that's actually something I recently needed and did something myself in Node.js when exporting large databases to split into multiple files.
right.
Uh, yeah, so yes, these things are quite useful, and I think that's the main part why it was nominated as innovative, right?
Right, it's more because of the size. So I think it makes it's actually something I did not think about because I usually do not use XML. Well, not I don't use XML much these days, but
Yeah,
for what I use, it's not many documents that are not very large, but it makes sense.
yeah. And Martin got PHP Storm ID subscription for this package. Okay, next one is PHP utilities developed by Christian V from France. So these PHP utilities can evaluate many expressions. It could evaluate math expressions, PHP templates, command line parameters, and parse even PHP code. So I think this one also would work great if you're developing templating engine, because templating agents also generate PHP code, and then you also then can execute this PHP code and even add more parameters there and stuff like that. I don't know if there's much, for example. Probably example is too complicated to
Yeah. Well, this
see
is
right
a
through.
package that does several things. Yeah.
Yeah, you would need to run it that to really understand it. And Christian did not pick any price, although he was the first one, but as usually he probably does it for fun more than prizes. Um, Next one is PHP address autocomplete and verification developed by Dave Smith from United States. Yes, so this is one of we can say trademark Dave Smith packages that
Yeah.
use some API layer web services,
Yes.
and um, this one uses street layer API web server and can check addresses and even provide reverse search to addresses close to specific geographic locations. Um,
Yes, it's good.
Next one,
Sorry,
yeah,
you're
you want,
mentioning. Well, this one, they've skipped his prize because he has already got all the prizes he
yeah.
could get, but not that he is not enjoying this. He's just doing it more for the fun of it than for the prizes, which is great, of course.
Yep. And next one is PHP Envato API, developed by Nahid bin Ajar from Bangladesh. And I think Envato was some kind of marketplace where everyone can publish their own uh, code components, right?
Yes.
And
I think it's for commercial components, I think.
yeah, and others can buy them. And this package provides an API access to this marketplace to retrieve some information, like authenticate users and look at their details, sales, earnings, and stuff like that. So if you want to create some other client side, like an app for you to check on your statuses and purchases and stuff like that, then you can use this package to do that. And Nahid got one downloadable ebook of choice by O'Reilly for this package.
Okay.
Uh, Next package is PHP Array Key Combiner, developed by Jelle Sebrecht from Belgium. Um, so as I understood this, you provide multiple arrays to this package, and then it intersects them and outputs only the common what's with this growing
Yes,
values.
it combines into a single array, so it merges the keys somehow.
Hmm. And Java got did not pick any price. Um, this was also interesting. PHP MySQL project documentation. So developed by Rafael Brice from Brazil, it can generate a documentation about your MySQL database based on basically information it can get for it, connecting and fetching data and looking at relations. I don't know if there is an example. No, I think there's not, unfortunately, no screenshot
No,
too.
no example. No, it's loading. When
Oh, it's out.
yeah,
Yes, so basically what you do is provide just an access to the database and then connect and get documentation and output, so it generates and outputs all the documentation it can. So it's like JS doc or Java doc on for database and
yes,
retrieves all the meta information it can and generates the HTML page. And Rafael got one loadable copy of Commode ID for this package.
okay.
Next one is PHP uh, INI or INI editor class. So it's not like PHP class to edit these configuration files, but it actually generates for to do it with UI interface using Bootstrap, I think. And here are a couple of screenshots. So you use any file and it would output you this generate you this UI so you could easily generate it, edit it and save it. And developed by Blue Pixel IT SRL from Italy. So probably a company name.
Or maybe somebody
And
with that company.
yeah, and they got 1 year subscription to the basic plan of an API product of choice. And the last one is PHP server by Cesar de Rodes. So he's back, back on the track
Yes,
from Paraguay.
yes, he
Uh,
is like tens because he also helped to test the the feature that allows the site to discover packages, and
mhm.
then the site sent him an invitation to import a package, and actually he imported some other package, but that's another story. And but he has tens and tens of packages. It's like he's giving a chance to the other
Yeah.
authors.
Yes.
So he
So
doesn't want to win every time.
intimidate. Okay, and so about the specific web package, so it allows you to create a REST API by some simple configuration like file where you can specify paths and directories to the scripts which should handle those paths, right?
Right.
I don't know if there is
Uh,
still loading, right?
yeah. Some reason the server is probably slow. Oh, it's Windows.
Oh,
Uh,
it also provides a client JS library too, then to query
yes,
that. So it's a full package.
it's a full both sides. Okay, on my behalf, I also like to comment. Let me check here. Packages. I'm also like to comment on a bunch of packages. If I can share the screen here. Blah, here, here, here. Okay, can you see it? I think so.
Yep.
So if I can put the window to the front. Okay, the first one I would like to comment here is this Pachang calendar. I never heard of this before, but it seems to be a type of calendar from the Hindu culture that not only shows days of the month, but also moon phases and sunrise, sunset, and other interesting details for those that would like to know about those things on the calendar. And this one was developed by Vish Sadev. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing his name right. He's from India, and he picked as prize a copy of PHP tools for Visual Studio. Um, Moving on to the next package I'd like to comment is Tobacco Class from Pierre Fouque from France. Um, this is an interesting thing because it's an unusual. It's basically to perform several types of tests to evaluate the dependency and motivation of people that are smoking.
Hmm.
And so it presents several types of questionnaires, and I think it presents also the results. And
There are demos. Can we see them?
yeah, good idea. If we can, what they open on non-SSL pages, so they have to be opened on separate pages.
No, this is English version. Yeah,
Okay,
you should do the English version.
tests. Okay, you can see here some forms. You just fill some details, and then it evaluates the results. So for those that work on this area, it's very specific, but it seems to be very interesting. Um, for this package, I think Pierre did not pick his prize yet. I'm not sure if it was not his turn, but it's possible that's the case. I would need to check. So the next package that I want to comment is a bit also different. It's USSD PHP PDU converter from Stefan Gibrel Frolich from Ghana. And this is basically for um, encoding and decoding commands, something called PDU, portable date units, which I think it's a type of information that is exchanged between mobile phones and cellular towers. Um, I'm not sure this is bit specific, but not only it provides a PHP version, but also a Java version. So if you are still stuck in the Java world, this package is also for you.
You should make javaclasses.org.
Yes, let's make Java great again.
Too
Sorry,
late.
sorry, couldn't resist. Anyway, next package. This one is actually very useful. PHP Elasticsearch for MySQL. Uh, it is from Ahmed Khan from Pakistan, and what it does is basically uh, index information on MySQL. You may wonder, why are you indexing information on MySQL if you could use MySQL to index the information itself? Basically, what happens is if you have large indexes, it will slow down the inserts and uh, updates and deletes, and also the select. So
Not even
it's
talking for text searching across multiple fields.
oh yeah, everything is complicated. So if you have a separate instance of Elasticsearch to actually index and search those fields, even if there is some delay in synchronization, it's useful. So this package makes it easier to integrate MySQL um, databases with Elasticsearch. So it's actually useful. Um, so the next package that I would like to comment, this is from Chris Jeffries. He's been submitting some nice packages. And this is actually a very creative form of creating random passwords. Instead of just making passwords out of, um, I'll say,
Thin
random,
air.
yes, those passwords that nobody is able to memorize. It just pulls words from RSS feeds. RSS feeds usually have text for human users, not for robots. And this way, it can create passwords that are based on real words, and at the same time, it's sort of random. This one also has not picked a prize because it did not get its turn. With so many prizes to be assigned, it it is getting more and more delayed, but uh, I'm doing my best to catch up because sometimes I have to ask different authors when they are tired if they want alternative prizes. So the next package that I want to comment is health measures from Lucia Figueroa from Uruguay. Uh, this is interesting for people working on the fitness or health segment. It's basically a package that can be used for applications that take measures, different measures of the body, and somehow store them and render charts to see how the patient evolved over time. Not sure if there are some demos here, just there is an example, but it doesn't show much examples. But it is interesting because it is configurable, can define the measures that you don't want to put in centimeters or kilograms, can use some other measure. The next package that I want to comment, this one is from Lars Molekin. He has been submitting several great packages lately. And this one is basically to take an email message with HTML and somehow convert class, CSS class properties into the version of those properties values expanded. So you do not need a separate style sheet because most email programs, for security reasons, filter those style sheet values. And there was already a package to do this before, but this one, what it does is basically to do it in a way that is more optimized. So it can remove several things that in the end make the final email message smaller.
You make duplicates and overwrites.
Yeah, sometimes you have those issues and it can generate something more optimized.
Mhm.
The next package that I want to comment, this one is from Lucas Oliver from Brazil, and it is very specific to Brazil. It's for, I don't know, you probably also have this, they call it public tenders, that if you want to have a public job, you have to apply and make some tests to see if you qualify, and also if you rank, because many people want to have public jobs,
What are
public
public jobs exactly?
jobs working for the public sector, for the government.
Oh, I see.
We don't have those anymore.
We have government jobs.
Okay, that's it. That's the same thing. We cover it's the public sector as opposed to the private sector.
Mm.
Okay. Anyway, I suppose probably it's similar. There are contests. You have to make tests and see if you qualify. And this package is to access an API that provides that information about the results, and so people can monitor where they ranked, so if they can qualify to get the job. Um, Finally, the last package on to comment is PHP media file info. This is actually a very interesting package from Sergey Ivanovich from Russia. And well, although PHP has actually the file info extension that you can use to extract information from the types of files, just looking at the contents, and that is not enough. For instance, if you want to extract information about a video or audio file, like the length and other aspects, like for instance, for video, you may want to get the width and the height of the video, and this package allow you to do that, extract some metadata that you were not able to do with the file info extension. So that's all in terms of winners. Let's see where are the Innovation Award winners standing. Basically, by in authors, individual authors in 2017. So far, we have Nahid bin Nazar from Bangladesh is ahead with 350 points. Sergey Vanishin is second with 441 points. He's from Russian. Christian V is third with 239 points. Peter Kahl from Hong Kong is has two packages in 25 points, and is tied with Jealous Sabrecht from Belgium. In sixth place is Alessandro Quintilana from Italy, is George Charvia from Australia, Asif Ahmad Abazil from I think Pakistan, is tied with Gavin Gordon Markowski from Canada, all with one package and 21 points. So there is Luis Martin Odo from Peru with one pack and 17 points. That's by individual authors. As for countries, again, United States is ahead, followed right after by France. So United States and France have been very strong lately. United States has five packages and 61 points, and France has four packages and 58 points. In third place comes Bangladesh with three packages and 50 points, basically the same points as Nahid bin Hazar. Then comes Russian Federation with four packages and 41 points. Pakistan with three packages and 38 points is in fifth. In sixth is Italy with two packages and 35 points, followed by Hong Kong and Belgium with 2 packages and 25 points. And then India with three packages and 23 points is in ninth place, and Canada is in 10th with one package and 21 points. So basically, we finally get to the end of this innovation award. It was a very long, long run, and I'd like to thank you, Arthur, for the time and the patience. for waiting. But you finally made it for this month. Next month, I know we have less to comment, but it doesn't mean they are less interesting. Is that things are getting more back to normal this time. So for now, that's all. On my behalf, bye.
Bye.